Hi everybody, it's us at Willie's Guitars. I hope that microphone is loud enough to hear above all this noise out here, but here we are at the new store. Don't forget, we have a new store. And don't forget, the sun is getting down, the leaves are changing, and it's turning into fall. So, you see this? I bought this on Amazon, and I've tried to find them so we could sell them here, but they're like 16 bucks. And you can see from here that there's this green section, the red section, and the blue section. You want everything but the red section. If the humidity goes down, and being outside right now, this is gonna drop while we're doing this video. If that gets into the red, you need to worry about your guitar. So here's my advice. Find something like this, no batteries. Don't need a battery, battery bad. You need just some analog thing that you can see from way back there that you can tell the humidity in the room that you keep your acoustic guitar. And having said that, get on it now. Get your humidifiers together. In your case, buy a humidifier, get a room humidifier, whatever you have to do. It's going to be a very dry winter. Now, I'll set this down. Here's your reminder. Get one of those. What happens is with guitars, oh wait, let me backtrack. Now's the time to get the cracks in your guitar fixed. While it's humid, those cracks are closed and we can put glue in there and fix that. Now is the time to get those cracks fixed on your guitar. As you look at your guitar, if you see a crack that you've been ignoring, don't wait till winter, because in winter it gets dry, those cracks open up, and we would have to humidify it for up to a month. Now, this is a guitar, and it's half off. Thank you. I'm famous for dad jokes. This is a sample of a guitar, and you can see when you put a string in here, whoops, it went straight through. Anyway, with a string in place, this pulls on the top. And you can imagine as you tighten it up, a good guitar, like these old guitars or copies of old guitars, have very thin wood. They're made thin, they're almost ready to explode. And why would they do that? Because they sound better. Your late 70s Martins are pretty overly braced, and they're good guitars, but they're less likely to crack. So whether you have an old vintage guitar, a guitar you bought in the 70s, or a guitar you bought yesterday, you need to worry about the humidity on your acoustic guitar. And one of the things you can tell is if you look at the top, you can see that the top is kind of bumpy. It looks dry. If you think about it, all of these grains that are in here are drying out, and you can run your finger over it and feel the bumps in the grain. That's dry. You can also, if you look close, see that the top kind of concaves. A lot of times you'll have different saddles. In the summer, it swells up and your action raises. In the winter, it dries up like an old sunfish and your action gets down and it gets buzzy. You also might notice that the sides of the frets are sticking out. This is true of electric guitars too. When it gets dry, your fingerboard shrinks. Your metal does not. So as you're playing it, you feel the edges of the fingerboard come out. We can fix that. It's actually not that hard of a job to do. We can file that back. And you can't really fix that with humidity. We've tried. A little bit. But by humidifying your guitar on an electric guitar, that is something you'll notice. On acoustic guitars, and this is what I'm talking about, even your laminated archtop guitars, on acoustic guitars in general, the humidity really expands and contracts quite a bit. So again, now is the time. I think this is the third time I've said that. I'm going to go for 4. Now is the time that you fix cracks, that you bring it in before it gets cold outside. And if you start turning on the heat very soon now, if you start turning on the heat, that's the time that it's going to get dry, and you really do need to be checking on your humidity. Remember what I said about the humidity? When we came out here, it was 45%. Right now, it's at 30%, and it's going to keep getting drier. So, especially with your old guitars, or like Collins T traditionals, Martin Authentics, other guitars, reissues, they tend to have thinner wood. It's thinner this way, it's thinner this way, and they're braced thinner and thinned out the top. Those are more subject to breaking. Those are the ones, by the way, that sound fantastic. I don't really need this anymore. Those are the ones that sound fantastic. Those are the guitars that you probably need to worry about the most, new or used. Even if you've had great luck with it, please. It's getting drier and drier these years, and I want you to keep that in mind. Keep an eye on the top, feel for bumps. Look to see if you can slide the width of a piece of paper underneath here. If your bridge is lifting, it's going to start pulling all these braces out with it. If you develop a crack, that brace might come loose. If you leave the crack, it could grow and affect other braces. So addressing these issues early is cheaper. Cracks, generally speaking, are about $35 an inch. That is about an inch. So you can measure it and guesstimate what it would cost to fix that crack. And if you've got multiple cracks, it really needs to be humidified. We are now leaving. The train is leaving the humidity part of the year, where high humidity will make that crack easier to fix. That's number 4. Fix that crack now. That's my advice. You can come in anytime with your repairs. We're right here, the new location. Make sure to look us up. Make sure to share this video with one of your friends who's a little hesitant to get his repairs done. Look after your guitars. We can help. We're happy to help. And then we've got new guitars coming in every day. Stuff like this vintage guitar, already well cared for. Every acoustic we have goes through the shop and is detailed. So that's all I got for you for right now. Let's pan over to our sign and say goodbye.